Hey, what's going on, friends and fellow Freedom Crusaders? Hope you're having a great day. In today's video, I want to share with you how to persuade yourself and others with 3 simple language patterns. And specifically, in this example, we're going to have the goal of persuading yourself to go to the gym and work out. And what I want to invite you to do is I'm going through these language patterns is to just see how they're affecting you. And I'd love to invite you to let me know at the end of this video in the comments if this stuff feels like it's working on you. So I'm literally just going to share with you some statements I gave to myself this morning as I was doing my personal development. I've been studying language patterns, and so I want to practice these language patterns. And what's beautiful about these language patterns is they can be used, it seems, to persuade ourselves and other people to do good things, to take the actions that we want ourselves and others to take. So let's get into this. Hierarchy of criteria or importance reframe is where you just take something and make it more important than something else. So here's the example. Isn't it more important to work out in the gym than it is to not be the most powerful version of yourself? Because when you work out, that means you have the highest amount of energy and vitality, and you feel the best about yourself, which carries over into every other aspect of life, doesn't it? So that's the importance reframe. And we have some other language strategies mixed in here. So we've got the importance reframe. We also have the phrasing the negative aspect in a positive aspect. So right here, isn't it more important to work out in the gym, which is what we want to do, than it is to not be the most powerful version of yourself? So we could have used a bunch of negative language here to describe what could happen if I don't take the time to invest in my body. But instead of using negative language, one of the things that seems to be good to do is to always strive to be speaking the things that you want rather than the things that you don't want. So that's why I phrased it as not be the most powerful version of yourself. And the other thing we do here is we have a because. So that is a way to build belief in yourself. It's a formula. So we're telling ourselves what we want to do, that it's more important than not being the most powerful version of ourselves because, and then we list some benefits. And if we can attach pleasure to the things we want to do and pain to the things we don't want to do, that can be a powerful strategy for motivation. So there's the first example. Here's the second one. Isn't it more important to invest time building your body than it is to not have your body serve you and others in the highest and best ways moving forward? You also see that these are framed in questions because it seems like questions are more accepted by the mind. That's the mind of self and the mind of others. So even when I'm speaking to myself as I'm writing these patterns, I'm asking myself these questions and embedding suggestions in the questions with the importance reframe. Next example, isn't it more important to stretch your body than it is to allow it to not be as flexible as it could be, so you can vibrantly and flexibly flow through life in prosperous and impactful ways? So again, we've got the importance reframe or the hierarchy of criteria pattern by saying, isn't this more important than that? And then we attach a benefit by saying, so you can vibrantly and flexibly flow through life in prosperous and impactful ways. How's that affecting you? Is it motivating you to want to work out? I'd love to know in the comments. So here's another hierarchy of criteria example. Isn't it more important to invest time in self-care than it is to sacrifice your body and mind for everyone else? Because isn't it true that we are supposed to love ourselves as we love others, and that self-care is a form of love, and that means engaging in self-care means you're doing what God wants you to do? So some other strategies, language strategies mixed in here, but the basic one, isn't it more important to invest time in self-care than it is to negative, right? So positive, negative. Isn't this positive more important than this negative? And then we're attaching some benefits and meanings to this belief. Here's the next one. Isn't it more important to do 3-minute abs every day than it is to do almost anything else you could do for your body? Because nothing will give you as good of a return in 90 seconds a day as this will, because it will strengthen your core, help you feel good about how you look, and make you strong and resistant to not being as healthy as you could be in all aspects of your life. Here's the next pattern, consequences. And this is just where we attach good things to the action we want to take, good benefits, and negative things to the not doing of that action. And what you'll notice is that many of these patterns can be mixed together. So we can do an importance reframe, very simple, all by itself. Isn't this more important than that? And we can also mix the importance reframe with consequences and the third one I'm going to share with you today. So maybe have your mind be aware that that is a possibility, and it's very possible that you'll begin to notice even more of these language patterns mixed in and through each other as we combine them to make them even more powerful. So consequences. Isn't it better to invest time exercising your body every day than it is to not? Because if you do, you will continue to be the most powerful version of yourself in all aspects of life, and all disciplines affect one another. Therefore, if you don't continue to exercise your body every day, so we've got if you do this, if you don't this, right? Consequences. Therefore, if you don't continue to exercise your body every day, it's possible that other areas of your life will suffer. And doesn't that mean that it's a good idea to get up and go to the gym as soon as your personal development study is over? Next one, isn't it true that when you run for 30 minutes a day, your mental state is electrified? And isn't that better than slugging your way through the day and being less filled with energy and enthusiasm? And since I'm guessing you're saying that it is better to get that runner's high every morning, and that means you might want to start the car and go to the gym as soon as you're finished with these language practices, right? So consequences, and then we're also attaching the action we want ourselves or others to take. So consequence pattern, isn't it true that if you do this thing, you're going to have these benefits? If you don't, you're going to miss out on those benefits. And doesn't that mean that it might be a good idea to start the car and go to the gym? So you're giving yourself a call to action. And you're also noticing potentially that I'm using possibility language here. You might want to start the car and go to the gym. This is really powerful for being able to pass thoughts and suggestions to your unconscious mind. Possibility, that's what that's called, possibility language. I'm a big fan of possibility language. Next one, hasn't it been your experience that making the decision to exercise every day has been one of the most positive things you've done for yourself and how you feel? And isn't it also true that during times where you've let yourself go in this area, your feelings of self-worth have been much lower than they could have been? And that this has made a big difference on your ability to impact others in the highest and best ways? And doesn't that mean that it's a good thing to make investing in your self-care of the highest priority in life? Other consequence pattern. Don't you think it's true that exercising brings one of the most intense forms of pleasure you can experience on this earth? And that not exercising makes it so you miss out on this feeling, that you miss out on feeling as good as you want to feel each and every day? And if that's true, then don't you think it would be a good idea to start the car and drive to the gym as soon as you possibly can? Here's the last pattern, metaphor, analogy. And this is just where you use a metaphor in your suggestion to yourself. Isn't it true that exercising your body daily is like keeping your car filled with the best fuel all the time, so it has all the juice it needs to go anywhere it wants to go as fast as it wants to go? And isn't it a much better thing to keep your tank full than it is to have nothing to drive you forward? So that's metaphor, taking the thing that you want to do and comparing it to something positive, a fast car filled with high quality fuel that can drive fast and go wherever it wants to go. That's a metaphor, right? We're bringing the positive attributes of this metaphor and pulling them into this activity that we want to persuade ourselves or someone else to engage in. Running is life because it's a metaphor that teaches you and reminds you every day that you can do more than you think you can with persistence, determination, focus, willpower, and other forms of mental strength. And if running is a metaphor for life that ingrains in you these powerful lessons, wouldn't that be something you would want to not deprive yourself of on a daily basis? Isn't it more important to have a body that runs like a Tesla than one that performs like an old beat-up, used and abused car? And if that's true, wouldn't it make sense to lift weights and run every day? Because doing so continues to keep your body in a state that's just like a cutting-edge, finely tuned, high-performing machine. And the last metaphor analogy, haven't you noticed in your life how people tend to comment on beautiful music and works of art? And isn't it true that as you have been in peak physical condition, people have commented on how good you look? And doesn't that mean that continuing to exercise your body on a daily basis is making it so your body is just like a work of art that is enjoyable for others to behold? So those are the language patterns. I hope you found them valuable. Again, I would love to ask your opinion. Comment below. Did these words and phrases and questions and ideas start to arouse in you the desire, if you didn't already have it, to get into the gym, to get on the treadmill, to build your body? Let me know, because at the end of the day, that's what we really want to know is, does this stuff work? So I want to know if this is having an effect on you. If you got value from this video, please like, comment, or subscribe to my channel. You can do that at pipelinemoney.com/YouTube. And if you want to see how I went from living in a single wide mobile home to retiring debt-free at 40, visit pipelinemoney.com and subscribe to my email list. This is the ultimate way to stay connected also, even if it turns out that what I'm doing is not a fit for you, because when you subscribe to my email list, you'll be sure to get my best content and not miss out on what I teach in the future. Thanks for watching. Whatever you do, always go for your dreams. This is Paul Hutchings signing out. Bye for now.